I believe we're all here to not only free each other, but also to co-create the next great wonders of the world. We can't do this in our current state. Our current state of mind, of course, is hijacked by the current powers that be, unfortunately. But the good news is, in coming together, we can offset that quite a bit. Now, we can blame the school system, we can blame the politicians, you can blame those people that have their finger on the button. Yet the real key is in transforming our understanding right now. So what we create inspires others to step outside the known to the unknown. We don't need to wait for any of the institutions and the politicians or any of those to get us there. Because as we co-create together, we'll get there ourselves without that permission. The key is informing these pockets of understanding, sharing, and more sharing, and so on. So as creators, we can basically inspire a new generation to go well beyond our human potential as it currently stands. In fact, we are the heroes we've been waiting for. But instead of there being like one hero that you see in the superhero movies, it's all of us coming together in these little pockets. Now, how is this possible? First, it comes by unhijacking our mind from the matrix. And that starts with listening to our souls, our bodies, and specifically nature itself.
To heal your neurological system right now and to replug in your mental identity into your conscious identity at the soul level is get out in nature. It is a perfect pathway. And so go out into a new environment, onto a new path, literally walk a new path that you've never walked before, and go to a waterfall, go to a mountaintop, go to an ocean, walk on a new path that you have never set foot on, and just witness the beauty. Watch that sunset or that sunrise and realize that nobody ever had to teach you what beauty looks like. It's because you resonate with that. It's because you are that. You will become trustworthy to self when you start to recognize the beauty of nature and realize you are resonating with it because you are that beauty.
We are all part of what's been created, and yet we're told and influenced as if we are separate, as if we are the ones that are corrupting everything around us. In fact, we are an expression of everything that's around us. We are an expression of the whole in and of itself. As we listen and hear stories from others, then from there we can actually unfold the truth of our own being and also be able to basically create forward with that in mind. Right now, all that listening is drowned out by all the things you have to do. All we're doing collectively is being hijacked by the needs of others. As Zach Bush says, when we take time to listen, we can follow a totally different path, and one that brings our human potential much greater than it's ever been before. Of course, this is all during a time of great fear. Consider this from the Canadian Prepper, where basically he's saying that more and more people are realizing the need to use strategic nukes in war and thinking, again, this crazy way of thinking that nuclear war is actually winnable. Check this out.
And the risk now, guys, is that low-yield nuclear warheads in war become normalized. All it takes is the acceptance of one low-yield tactical nuclear weapon. He even talks about neutron munitions launched from artillery or from tanks, okay? All it takes is one for us to become normalized. Then they're going to do it again and again and again, and we're going to find ourselves in a situation where the use of these non-conventional weapons becomes commonplace.
Now, of course, he's saying that he got that from an insider in the CIA. As comments have pointed out, though, once you're in the CIA, you're always in the CIA. The thing of it is, whether that information is fed or not, the truth still remains the same. There are people crazy enough who are in power who think that a nuclear war is winnable. I, for one, realize it's not. You can start thinking about ways to get a bunker and get all these preparations and supplies and watch every move that's made on the world stage as we move towards World War III. The thing of it is, that's hijacking your consciousness, and that's putting you in a state of fear. And from that fear, you're going to make decisions you wouldn't otherwise. When you look at Navy SEALs or anybody that's been in war before, one thing they'll tell you is you can make all the planning in the world, but when it comes down to it, when things start to happen, all those plans go out the window. So although you can make preparations, maybe extra food, definitely some water, some supplies, a bug out bag, some way to survive what may or may not come next. But after you do that, which are minimal preparations, the minimum to basically survive upon this planet, once you have that in place, the next step is to move towards your creative potential and to look at ways that we can create forward. It's just like with the race car drivers. What we're looking at now is we're moving towards hitting a wall. We're hitting a wall collectively, and we're all been told to stare at that wall. Well, guess what happens? When you're driving a race car and you stare at that wall, you're going to hit that wall. Instead, you move your eyes towards where you want to go. Now, you've made the preparations. Maybe you have some extra food, whatever it might be. After that, you move your attention to where you want to go next, to where we collectively want to go next. And it's not to be hijacked by fear and brought into a war that nobody wants. All of this fear is there and designed to, again, make decisions that you wouldn't otherwise. Now, there's a number of people who are very well-intentioned, who basically tell you a play-by-play of what's going on. And there's plenty of fear to go around. And they'll make you feel as if you're irresponsible if you don't know the play-by-play. But you don't have to know the play-by-play. Okay? You have your preparations. If you look at true human potential, and you look at the impact that both monks and people praying in mass have, you'll realize that crime has gone down, violence has gone down. So we do have influence when we come together collectively. It doesn't matter what your belief system is. Most of them have ways of praying. And it's putting your attention towards a future that you want to see. And it's using that prayer or using the visions of that future, not as in we're going to go to war, but as in we're going to transcend the boundaries as we have never done before. So there's a couple different ways to look at this. You could stay up all night and worry about someone about to nuke this part of the world or that part of the world, and then gradually having just a series of deaths and ongoing decline, and realizing that, okay, economic collapse, food shortages, starvation, Mad Max, whatever it might be, you can go into that mode, shrivel up, and just try to find some shelter and maybe you'll survive. Or you can spend your time and energy on co-creating a much better future. If we look at the popular things that we know, and education has taught us, much of it is upside down, from food to how our beginnings have come about, any number of things where what we've been fed is basically upside down from the truth. So one of the best things we can do to elevate our human understanding and our human potential is to share the truth of what's known. And the truth is really muddled. It's not like it's just black and white. Okay, they didn't tell us the truth, so this is the truth. No. You have to be scientific about it. And science has been hijacked by politicians and those with money a long time ago. So instead, it's up to us to basically go forward with our scientific minds and really rediscover what it means to be a human on this planet, co-creating together and not being hijacked by war, by all these other influences. And we do this through small pockets of creation. We inspire each other towards greatness, and through that greatness, we get to the next level. Through sharing inspirations, through sharing discoveries that won't be shared any other way because of the current institutions, by grabbing hold of those understandings, then we can actually transcend the boundaries as never before. And that gives us hope that humanity is basically dying for. And you keep it alive with everything you create. If you're called to create, which I think a lot of people are, the more that we come together as pockets of creators to share those ideas, the more that we can transcend the boundaries of the old and become something much better. The best is yet to come. I truly believe that, but it does take our collective energy and our collective creating towards that future. Not being bound by the past, not waiting for media or institutions to do that, but doing that on our own. And we become the heroes we've been waiting for. If this is something you want to do, I definitely encourage you to check out some of the links below where you can get started creating on your own, whether it be writing blog posts or creating videos, getting your ideas out there and really connecting with small pockets. And the more we do that, the more we gain our freedom. If you found this video helpful, be sure to give it a like. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you next time.